What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well, man. It's time for the show. Hindsight's 2020, man. And let me bring in my co-host, Mr. Blake Knight. And it's not Blake, it's Jigmaster. What's up, dude?
I got it. Blake Knight got a tan, bro. That's what just happened. Blake got a good tan going on.
Dude, he must have went like South Texas to get that kind of tan, dude.
Bro, they put him in the tanning bed and forgot about him.
Oh, my. Blake is unavailable tonight, man. So I got my man Robert Brown going to join us tonight, man. What's going on, Mr. Jigmaster?
Man, I'm happy to be here. I'm sorry Blake couldn't make it. I'll try to do his name some justice. But I'm happy to be here, bro. Hindsight 2020. And the guest?
Oh, it's gonna be fire tonight, man.
Yeah, he's getting all the smoke.
It's gonna be fire. Can y'all hear me? I'm hearing no sound and all this other stuff.
Yeah, let me get it. Let us get a thumbs up in the comments.
Give me a thumbs up, man. Like somebody saying no sound. Maybe Todd Patrick needs to turn his volume up. Okay, he's got us. All right, we're good. All right, don't scare me like that, Mr. Patrick, because this cord thing gets a little funky, man. All right, good deal. Well, man, tonight is special, man. We got Mr. Conrad Binetti on, and we are going to talk fishing. Listen, but we're going to talk about Eufaula. We're going to preview Guntersville. And we're going to talk about our weekend, Jig Master, about, man, your big PB and all this other stuff, man.
You know,
we got a big night to talk about, bro. And listen, we ain't holding nothing back, man. Like, Robert Brown does not hold back for anybody, right?
I really don't.
No.
I really don't. I might lose. I might lose some associates or some friends tonight.
I ain't gonna lie. Our broadcast, our notes, and me and Blake were kind of going over some things last night, and I'm like, Blake, man, I'm gonna talk about this, and Blake's like, man, I don't know if you talk about this, man. We're trying to keep people here. I'm like, man, are we turning into KBN and like are we turning into like this? I'm playing, man. Like Blake was like, nah, we're bringing the fire, all fire tonight, man, and just there's no mercy. You know what I mean?
He's not talking about the tan Blake Knight. He's talking about the original Blake Knight. The original.
That's what I'm saying. Like we ain't gonna hold back, man. We are going to absolutely just talk about, look, this is called Hindsight 2020. Like we purposely get people on here who don't do well, because usually anglers that do well and have terrible tournaments have a right to speak out. And this is gonna be fun. To kind of talk about, man. But with all further ado, guys, I know you're waiting for this. I'm waiting for this. Let's get the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Eufaula himself, Mr. Conrad Binetti. What is up, my friend?
I feel like I've been set up with Robert Brown being here.
You absolutely have been set up, man. Without apology, look, Blake was too nice. And I was like, nah, Blake, you sit back on this one. Let's let the fire breather himself come out and just start hammering.
No, I love Robert Brown. He's a real dude, so that's somebody I like to talk to,
Yeah,
let's hope that mug is a self-filling mug, so you don't have to get up and go away from us.
I may have to a couple times. That was by design,
Eufaula Bass must have heard about me. That is fantastic. They were absolutely scared of you. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? They saw your Tourney X stat, and they're like, nah, we're not playing that game. You know what I mean? Conrad's in town. We ain't biting, right?
That's it. That was that's what I gathered. That was my Hindsight 2020. So I think the show's a wrap.
All right, man.
The fish from Florida. The fish from Florida emailed them, those fishing Eufaula, and we're like, hey, man, if you see this, feel free with this dude who's like 2 foot, 1 foot, nothing, go away from him.
Yeah, his motor sits higher than he does in the kayak.
Nah, what's up, Barbarian, man? How you doing, bro?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Tough weekend, man. Tough weekend. Had opportunity Saturday. I was telling Greg.
We ain't got it. We're not getting into that.
We're not getting into any of that. Let's set the stage. Let's set the stage. What's going on, man? Let's kind of draw this out, man. We got an hour show, and we're gonna draw this out, man. So Conrad, look, man. Everybody you don't know Conrad Binetti, you're under a rock. But at the end of the day, Conrad is obviously one of the more famous kayak fishermen made known, an online profile, absolutely bringing the heat. Made famous by KBBT, he's obviously a Florida fisherman, and he kept on pointing to his Tourney X stats, man. Look at my stats. And
do we have them?
very, very high success at Go ahead, Jake Master.
I want to see if the producer. Do you have the stats pulled up in the background? We're working on getting those.
No, I carry them in my pocket. Do you need them?
Yeah, you do. You got them on a 3x5.
Right. I got them in my wallet. Yeah,
100%. And look, rightfully so. I mean, he's done very, very well. I mean, like a ton of first places. All these different local events, and all these online events and everything else. And then KBBT came around a couple years ago, dude. And one of the first guys to come through and win the championship, man. And you're holding up your trophies, man. And had a very successful KBBT run. Yeah. And man, it was like the stars born. And we kept on saying, like, man, this is great, this is fun. And you kept on putting yourself out there, and everybody got to know Conrad. And you took a lot of punishment, dude. Like, everybody kept on saying, you ain't doing nothing online, Mr. Online King, unless you got and test yourself in live events. Well, then you started live events. You won Okeechobee, right? In the KAF. I think you won another tournament and then came in second or third in a recent tournament, man. So you're starting to slowly put yourself out there. Then you went last year to Kissimmee, finished top 10. You beat Russ Snyder's on Saturday, right? And then he beat you on Sunday, right? So, I mean, starting to put yourself out there, a little dabble here, but you're still in Florida.
Hey, let's pause real quick, Greg, because I want to take a second to talk about Russ Snyder's, the most quietest, humble guy ever. Had one of the best memes I've ever seen.
Meme of the decade.
And Conrad, I know you know what meme I'm talking about, bro.
Oh, the one where he was holding up my head, right?
Yeah, bro. The old Conan the Barbarian.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Well, let's continue. So, had a good Kissimmee event, man. Starting to show yourself, man. But you got to remember, everybody kept on saying it was all in Florida. That's all in Florida. You know what I mean? Like, get yourself out of Florida. Well, then you entered the KFL last year, right? And I think your first out of Florida tournament or game was at Neely Henry at up with Alabama, and you had actually pretty good showing. I mean, Florida Copperheads actually lost, but you yourself had a good showing, right?
Yeah, sure. We crushed it. I mean, the whole team. Fuck seemed to be the most comfortable. John Fuck seemed to be most comfortable doing it. I lucked into a good area, and
we're not just gonna speed past that, Conrad. Who are you talking about?
John Fox.
John Fox. Yeah, that's right.
John Fox. Let's give the man some respect.
I was so lost. I'm like, who? I was like, who's
John Fox? That guy.
John Fox.
Yeah, no, he did well. Starley was there. I think he did pretty good too. I mean, we just showed up. We didn't even pre-fish. We just showed up and fished. And did well. Did well for what we did. You know what I mean? For what we had. Just Colin McGowan, kid's a beast. He knows his stuff in his waters, and just caught the bigger fish. Yep. That was good.
Yep. 100%. And then, obviously you guys protected the house at home, had a really good home record. And then you personally went up to Carolina, faced the Tar Heel Lunkers, had a really good pre-fishing, dude, and absolutely just, the game just, I mean, you as a team just couldn't find the fish, and that happens. I mean, it is what it is, man. And so you guys went up having
the home team. I don't think put up 10. I think they put up 6 or 7 fish.
It was a tough day. Day.
Now, Coley McGowan came in afterwards in the afternoon game
and smoked it. Yep.
We talked about
on the same lake. On the same lake.
Yeah, on the same lake. So that was kind of like, what did this kid do that all of us didn't do? You know what I mean?
No, it's absolutely. And so, you guys at the end of the day had a real rough season. Florida Copperheads 3-3, didn't make the playoffs, kind of sour taste in your mouth.
And who else?
And Conrad, it was something kind of weird, man, because like from that season, it was basically then you started another KBBT event, and then Derek Miller posted 110 inches on you.
Oh yeah,
in that tournament, and something happened. Like Conrad, I'm going back to October 2021.
Oh, I remember the day very vividly, sir. I remember
Derek Miller waxed you in the KBBT 1-on-1.
He sure did.
Then something happened with Conrad. Like seriously, no joke.
I mean,
he went away.
If somebody put up 110 inches on me, yeah, I'd probably take a little sabbatical myself. I'm just saying.
He did.
A little soul
dude.
searching.
I went to find Jesus, man. I went to
exactly,
find
bro.
I went to find Jesus.
Take up boxing and stuff, you know.
Instead of polishing his KBBT trophies, he's showing videos of boxing bags and getting his back right, and the Rocky story, and getting himself in shape for this year, and just taking a little sabbatical. Which I understand, man. Sometimes you gotta lick your wounds after a butt kicking like that. I get you.
That's right.
No, I feel like this season for you, Conrad, is gonna be the Rocky song for real. Eye of the Tiger, bro. Like I just hear the song in my head. And I see you coming out, and the Copperheads coming out like, oh yeah, we make it, we coming back this season, baby.
Yeah, we're doing things differently, man. We understand that, we ain't just showing up based on our names, and this is bass fishing. We all know as bass fishermen, when you show up to these giant bodies of water, one of the hardest things to do is locating these fish. I mean, we know this. I mean, a lot of times you luck into them. I mean, the guys especially who aren't on the phone trying to get intel, and listen, that ain't really me. I'll talk to a few guys here and there, take a little input, and that's it.
Are we giving away trade secrets? Are you talking about someone in specific right now, Mr. Binetti?
No, I mean, listen, everybody has their way of approaching events. We know this. You got the people who they got form a little clique and they help each other. Then you got other people who like to get as much intel as possible. I don't do much of that. Like I said, I'll talk to a few people. I'll get a little information. I'll do my own research online. Yeah. I just like map study. I don't even like to watch videos of guys on YouTube and look for spots. I like doing my own thing. I'm either gonna live and die by what I do. I mean,
I heard a rumor though. That like while you're out on the water, you like to pull up YouTube of people fishing on the body of water that you're on to see if you can figure out where they're at. Can you let us know if there's any validity to that? Like,
I mean, when things are going bad, like this past weekend, yeah, YouTube was open while I was on the water.
Everything that matters, right? Oh my God!
Happened on the water. So.
Yeah, 100%, man. So
I opened everything up.
So let's go ahead and talk about this disastrous weekend, man.
No, before Greg, can I pause before we get into that? Take me through your Eufaula.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My apologies.
This is where I want to go. So, Conrad, I have to tell you, man, like Hobie was going to Eufaula, and Conrad actually was pretty smart because the KFL, the Copperheads, were going to Eufaula against the Southern Slayers. So Conrad and actually Sherman both signed up for this event.
It was all Sherman, 100% Sherman.
Yeah, and so Sherman signed up for this event and then convinced Conrad, with a little bit of a forced hand, I'd say, to sign up for this event because it was going to kill two birds with one stone. First of all, it gets you guys out of your comfortable, thing that you got in Florida. It's not an online tournament. You're going against the best in the nation at a Hobie event, which is a 2-day tournament, which is the, pinnacle of our sport. Right. And I'll have to give Conrad a lot of credit, man, because this is like putting himself out there. He knew that if he didn't do well, it was going to either go one of two ways. It's going to either make him a hero or zero. But I think a lot of people, dude, in all honesty, I think a lot of people had a lot more respect for you for signing up and showing yourself and doing something that you've never done. Like you've never fished a live event with the caliber of anglers outside Florida in a Hobie tournament. And this is your first one. And knowing the fact that it was, this event and it was a big event for you, let's talk about what you did to prepare for this tournament.
And I'll say congrats on stepping out like that, bro. But I will add this. My first national level event where I stepped out to test my skills, it was a Hobie event. It was on Lake Seminole. I finished 7th.
Nice. I believe is Seminole a home lake of yours though?
It absolutely is.
I may or may not have.
It absolutely is.
Like 40 miles from it.
But, way to call that out, man.
Right. So obviously you've done your research. Okay.
Pay
We'll
attention
go
to
ahead.
details. You know what I mean? Pay
We'll
attention.
move. We'll move. He came prepared. He's got
He
note
came
cards
prepared,
and
man.
stuff
He's
ready.
got all the notes on you, man. Even with the surprise, he knew that you were coming on.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, man. So tell us about your practice that you did going into it, because you had to know that if you didn't have a good showing, you were gonna get, you're gonna get some backlash just because of how boisterous you are. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey, I knew it was coming. Me and Sherman talked about it. We joked about it. I mean, we said, for me and you to go up there and have a good event, I mean, we're probably not going to happen. I mean, we're probably going to crap out. I mean, we're mainly going up there to learn as much as we can for June. Our goal is June. And we said, we'll go give it a shot, So I went up, did a little pre-fishing. I pre-fished one day, went to an area. It was horrible. I didn't do anything in there. Came back home. This was the weekend before. Came back home, worked all week, did my map study. Weeks earlier, I talked to a couple guys because we knew Eufaula was coming up. So I talked to a few guys who fish Eufaula. They gave me a couple areas to look at, told me a few things to throw. I didn't throw anything they told me to throw. I did what I normally do.
But did you go to the areas they told you to go to?
One area that was the one that I saved for tournament day. The areas I went and searched myself, I wasn't happy with. From them, looking at it on a map and going there and actually being there, it's two different things.
Okay. So before you continue, what did you expect of Eufaula? And what I mean by that, did you expect it to be in pre-spawn, post-spawn, or all three phases, or did you not have an expectation?
From what I heard, it was post-spawn. I mean, the fish spawned already weeks ago, kind of like when the Florida bass spawned, and now it was a post-spawn funk is what we were seeing. The bass weren't feeding. They just got done spawning and they weren't feeding too good. This is from talking to a few bass boaters and, guys just asking me how I'm doing. And so that was it. So that was, that was all in my head coming into the weekend. Then I arrived Friday, did a little more pre-fishing by a couple of causeways over there, saw some fish, didn't really like it, said maybe I could come back here and put up a limit. I said, I don't think you're going to win the tournament here, though. I mean, I went to Eufaula to win the tournament. I didn't want to go catch 15s, 14s. And I came there. I said, I'm either going to win this thing or I'm going to totally crap out. So Saturday, it was looking – I put in. I had no expectations. I was calm as could be. I wasn't nervous. Put into the area. Went to the first gator grass patch that I saw.
Now, this is 1 day of pre-fishing, right? What you said?
This is 1.5 days of pre-fishing.
Okay, 1.5 days.
Put in no expectations. Calm as could be, man. Said, I'm just going to go fishing. No one was really on anything. I mean, through the talks, I talked to guys at the meeting. No one giving up information because we weren't allowed to, but no one was doing that anyway. Yeah. Just through talking to them, everybody was saying they've been there for a week, had 2 bites, 2 weeks. I mean, guys were leaving that without their money. They gave up their entry fee.
15 people left. 15
they went home.
Left.
But not the barbarian. The barbarian's like, I'm going to tough this shit out.
Yep.
I said, hey, you got to test yourself. I could have stayed home and done the KBBT National Championship and probably put up 90, 100 inches. Mm-hmm. I said, let me get out of my comfort zone. Let me get out of my comfort zone. So like I said, Saturday came, I put in, no expectations, calm as could be. And my second cast, I get blown up by like a 6-pounder. Through the gator grass, I mean, an absolute Eufaula giant. Close mouths the frog, doesn't take it. He just hit the frog and went over it and back in the water. So now I pulled out my Senko. I pitched that into the same hole, let it drop in, hook up with her. Battle underwater, she comes free.
Now, what was this setup on this Senko?
20-pound. That was on my spinning rod, 20-pound braid, and then I usually run like a 17-pound fluorocarbon leader.
Yeah.
Usually I usually run a leader to braid. That's just what I do. I don't know if it's necessary, but that's how I usually do it.
It's all good, man. I mean,
I got you.
Yep.
Now, main thing that I heard from guys is because I always like to search for clean water. That's always in Florida, clean water is crucial. Right. These Florida bass love clean water.
Yep.
All growing up, whenever I fished, clean water was always a thing. From up north, New York to Wisconsin to clean water was the thing. All I heard was, man, this ain't Florida. Alabama bass don't care. The water could be muddy, dirty. They don't give a crap. Well, the winner found the cleanest water he could find, threw a spinnerbait against the hyacinth mats, and wound up winning. So I think I needed to do a little more focusing on finding that clean water, which is something I probably won't ever make that mistake again. And I'll go with what I know.
So let me ask you this. I'm being real. I'm being straight up. I know who the information you kind of got this information from, right? I know kind of the sources. Don't you think it was a little suspicious though? I mean, like, was it in the back of your mind that they were kind of punking you? Like after the first couple, like half the day, like, didn't you feel like, wait, is this real or is this not? Did they send me back to this like turd location? And is it time for you to move? I mean, did you ever question like the information that you were getting?
Because Greg, Saturday, I mean, the bite was there for me. I had 7 bass on. I had 7 bass on, 3 of which were over 20 inches. 2 of which, one was probably in the 8 to 9 pound range that broke me off in a tree. So
I just want to ask. So, you run a GoPro on your yak?
No, I'm definitely looking into it though.
Oh, you got that Florida calibrated eye. How you know those was 20-inch bass?
Brown, we know when you get that fish by the kayak, you know what we're looking at.
Oh, you had them by the kayak.
Oh yeah, no, the big one. Got it out from the shoreline, got her out to deep water. The tree was off to my left, so I knew I couldn't let it go that way.
Oh, okay. I just heard you say
water.
All right, so Conrad, let me ask you this, man, and I'm being serious. Like, do you make your own hooks? I mean, who makes your hooks, dude? Because you literally have the worst luck I've ever seen of people catching like 0 fish, but have the most bites and gotten off than I've ever seen.
Here's what happened.
I mean, what's the deal?
On 5 of the 7, the one that broke me off in the tree, nothing I could do. I had 20-pound
That's
braid.
a line thing. That happens.
Right. Line break. Big fish. Couldn't stop her. Once she seen that tree, she kind of lazily came out into the deep water, came up by the yak and rolled. Once she seen the yak, she went right for that tree, and there was nothing I can do.
No.
I mean, she just went down, and she went right into the tree. Next thing I know, the fluorocarbon popped.
Right.
That was it.
She was gone. That happens.
Nothing I can do.
Time. Nothing you can do.
5 of 7 that jumped me off was total execution on my part. It was I froze in the moment. Bites were far few. Bites were far and few. What's that?
What were you getting these bites on? I'm just curious.
I had 3 on the frog, and then 2 came on Senkos. The ones that jumped me off, 2 were on Senkos and 3 were on the frog.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm not a very avid frog fisherman. So when that happens, I've heard from multiple people who love to fish frogs, like when they're getting a lot of blowups, but the fish is not getting it good, that there's either, like what I've been told, is either the using the wrong size frog or the wrong color frog. There needs to make an adjustment somehow. I'm not a big top water fishing guy. So my question to you is, when you lost all these fish on the frog, did it ever cross your mind that maybe you need to make a little bit of an adjustment on either the color? Okay,
I did. Yeah, I downsized to a smaller frog. Problem with that now is you're dealing with smaller hooks. Knowing this, I said, all right, I'm going to downsize my frog, but now I'm going to downsize my hooks, which comes along with that territory.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, here we go. I'm going to see if they'll eat it better. But now, even if I get the hook up, it's a smaller hook. Is it going to hold them? It didn't. Again, lack of execution on my part. Never once did I put my rod in that water to keep those fish from jumping. The moment got me, and
wow,
the moment got me. Bites were far.
Okay.
In
hindsight 2020, Conrad's being real.
Hold on.
He's saying,
are you saying the moment, like the pressure?
He cracked.
Oh.
I'd have to say hindsight 2020. Yeah, I mean, execution was horrible on my part.
This is therapy, Conrad. This is pure therapy, man. This is what this show's all about, man. You know what I mean? It happens, dude. It's your first event. We get it, man. Like, I'm impressed, dude. Like, straight up, I'm impressed because honestly, I thought you were going to come on here and make a bunch of excuses about this and that.
All this
dude, I'm actually impressed.
Hey, it's the truth, man. Do I ever not told you guys the truth? That's what
y'all hear.
Yeah,
y'all heard it here first on Hindsight 2020. I think this is the first time the Barbarian's been caught on front of a camera humbling himself.
Yeah.
What's up? I like it, bro.
This is good stuff.
Yeah. Now let me. While Saturday's going on, of course, I'm getting my phone's getting blown up by Sherman. I mean, the
You
comprehension.
suck. What are you doing? Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, before you continue, how many text messages did you get of people, or not just text messages, let's say Facebook messages of people talking shit like, "Hey man, you ain't got nothing no more." You nothing?
No, man. No, amazingly, man. I got so many messages of. I mean, I met a lot of people, man. Met a lot of people who, I mean, just good people. Most of the KBN, we hung out. We had dinner and stuff. I mean, it was a good time, man. A lot of good people. Met Jim Sancho Clark, which is a funny story.
Hey, we don't bring that name up when Jigmaster's around.
Good dude, man. Good dude, man. I don't know, online and stuff. He's got a slick mount and stuff, but he's a real dude, and in person, he's a good guy, man. Definitely a good guy. I don't say that much about a lot of people, but
there's a lot of guys that are online ninjas that just talk all sorts of stuff, and they get a bad rap, but in person, they're just as awesome as can be. I get it.
It's funny you say that, because I think Conrad is one of those guys, because
I agree.
He's a super confident guy, and he has that boisterous personality, and people have this thought of him who haven't met him or haven't talked to him outside of when he's, just shooting the shit on KBN or talking shit on whatever. Conrad's a good dude, man.
Good dude.
Good ass dude. I mean, he's like, this is normal height. This is short people. And Conrad's like
5'8", 190. All right, 5'8".
All right. I'm just saying, he looks eye to eye with, like, I'm just gonna stop. I ain't even gonna say
Jason Campbell says Clifton Allen is one of those dudes that online personality, one guy, and then in person is completely different. You know what I mean? I get it. Well, Conrad, so after the first day, man, like you had to, like halfway through, you had to have been like, I mean, you had to have been spun out, man. Like,
well, here's the thing, Greg. I mean, after day one, I'm sitting back and saying, wow, I could have been leading this tournament after day one if I would have just boated those fish. I would have been, if not leading, I would have been right there, top 3. I mean, I lost 3 fish over 20 inches. One was probably 23 to 24 inches, the biggest one that broke me. I could have been leading or within the top 5 after day one. Now, Sunday would have come, and now, like I said, I was talking to Sherman and them. Sherman's like, well, you're not going back to the same area. I guess he wasn't believing the story I was telling him.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought I was just making up this story of these bass that I had, because his question just was, well, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're there. I don't know why you're going back there. I said, well, Sherman, if I just had the winning bag, I'm going to go right back there again Sunday. I mean, it's no question in my mind.
Yeah.
I knew I could have ran south and caught 15, 16-inch fish and brought myself back into the mix, maybe middle of the pack. Wasn't going to do that. I said, maybe I'll have a shot at catching the biggest bass of the tournament and at least get a $500 check.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can salvage after day one.
Right. So that was my thinking. I didn't care about going to catch 14s, 15s, spotted bass down south, because that's where a lot of people were.
Okay, so but let me kind of play devil's advocate for you. Okay.
I was about to do the same thing.
Because here's the deal. Like, the reality of it, you got 0. Right?
Yeah.
The reality of it, there's 0. And
Greg knows about zeros, bro.
Is it just that competitive mentality that you say coulda, woulda, shoulda? Like, I could have beat Robert, it didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I could have, and Robert could have beat me, even by like 10 inches, even more. He didn't. But like, we coulda, woulda, shouldas. But at the end of the day, when the scoreboard says 0, it's 0. You know what I mean? And
of course, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I had the opportunities, lack of execution on my part. Now, a lot of guys in that tournament complained about the same thing. Lost fish.
Right.
Now, was that a case of these fish were spawning and they weren't eating the baits the way they normally do? I mean, the fish that I was dealing with, the bites weren't crushing eating baits. They were taking the bait, but it didn't look like it was out of a hunger.
Same thing at Santee Cooper, man. I get it.
So between the lack of execution and you ain't hooking these things the way they're supposed to be hooked, a lot of guys talked about it. Adam Reiser, I just watched the thing, lost 5. I think Pendergraph lost a few. Ryan Lambert said he lost 5 or 6. Everybody sounds like they were losing fish.
Right.
They were getting more opportunities.
But let me ask you a question. This is what, like, we all get in this comfort zone because we all look at other people's failures and we make excuses for our own failures based on other people's failures. But at the end of the day, that doesn't win tournaments. Like, that gets you into like this crowd of I didn't do it. But what separates the winners and then the losers is
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
Hey.
there's not that loser mentality. Like, it's like, okay, wait a minute. I don't care what you did. Like, what you did has no bearing on what I did. You know what I mean?
So-
Like, you can't find confirmation in what other people's failures did to better yourself. You know what I mean?
Kind of not really echo what Greg was just saying, because I 100% agree with what he just saying. But to kind of add on to what Greg was saying is like, I feel like the people who either do well in the tournament or win the tournament are the ones who have those issues like we have, like you're talking about, and then they make the necessary adjustments to overcome it. And what I mean by that is, and dude, I'm in no way trying to say I'm a better angler or not. We had a tournament. My trail had a tournament this past weekend, in which that guy over there finished second. He came down and finished second. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I lost probably 5 or 6 fish first thing in the morning. It was a tough bite for everyone else, but I figured out the pattern, and the pattern that I had, I figured it out pretty good. And I was getting bites on quality fish, but I lost 5 or 6 fish in a row on a jig. And that's my thing, on a jig. And I was like, I'm not lying to you, Barbarian. I literally put my shit on spot lock, and I sat in the middle of the channel for like 5 minutes, and I was like, why are you losing these fish?
Right.
And I looked at my equipment, my rod, my reel, my line, and I looked at my jig that I was using, and I looked at the jig, and the brush guard on my jig extended a 1/2 inch past the hook. I took my scissors, I snipped the brush guard down to where it was, kind of flush with the jig. Probably 4 pitches later, I caught my PB. It was a 24-inch bass. And every bite I got after that, I kept them pegged. All the fish before that were jumping off the hook. So, like, that's why I asked you, like, because I'm not a top water fisherman. I was actually trying to probe for information. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people say all the time, like, hey, I lost these fish. These were the fish I could have won if I would have actually hooked those fish. It's the adjustments, like, and I think you're going to learn now, because you're not fishing your comfort zone anymore. You're stepping out and fishing stuff other than your comfort zone, and that's what it took for me.
The thing about it is, I was telling the Copperheads this on the chat. I said, this isn't Kenansville, this isn't Fellsmere, this isn't these bodies of water where we're used to getting 50, 60 bites a day sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's times where I'm out there, I'm getting 50, 60 bites. If I miss a couple, that's fine. I'm going to get 20 more right behind it. These bodies of water, with the way this was fishing this weekend, every bite was crucial. I mean, you had to be laser focused every cast, and I definitely was not laser focused.
Yeah.
Hey, people, I hope y'all listening. This is some gold hindsight you're getting from Barbarian.
This is good. I mean, this is exactly what this show's about, and I love it. So, Conrad, let me ask you this: looking back at it, going into Saturday, I think you're one of the. I tell people all this all the time, and a known joke.
I know what he's about to say, because he told me this.
Watching Conrad Binetti is one of the best anglers I've ever seen. Like, no joke. Like, somebody asked me, what was your top 5 anglers you've ever fished with? And I had Conrad.
That was me.
In your
that was
top
me who
5.
asked you that. Yeah.
And I was like, look, man, straight up, like, I listed Guillermo Gonzalez, Russ Snyder's, and I listed you. I said, like, watching this guy fish is so efficient, and everything, and all the stuff that he does and everything else. I know, and you know that you're a much better angler than what you showed yourself this weekend. I think you know that. But I think I just want to hear it from you. Did you listen to too much noise and too much dock talk and not trust yourself as an angler and learn from that? Or did you think that, you're not going to change anything because you thought you had the right information and then you were just going to execute on that information that you had? I mean, there's a difference, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You definitely didn't listen to the dock talk. The dock talk had 20, 30, 40 kayakers down south in the lake, messing around with 15, 16-inch fish. And they were, looking for that nice cull, 17, 18 to get to that next level. And that's fine. That was fine. No, I did my own thing. I mean, it was me and like 2 other kayakers in this creek. Sunday, I was alone. The guys from Saturday, they didn't experience what I experienced, so they took off. Saturday, I was by my Sunday, I was by myself. Saturday, I was pretty much alone. I mean, I'm hearing from guys there's 40 kayaks, 30 kayaks together. I mean, a lot of the guys were together.
Yeah.
I don't like to fish like that. I enjoy fishing solitude. I'm trying to get away.
I get you, man. Me too.
It's like, usually it works, but there are times I think Ike and Ellie years back in Okeechobee, he didn't want to run to the monkey box. I mean, that's where the tournaments were being won in Okeechobee, in the monkey box. And he said, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go sit with 200 boats in the monkey box. I'm going to go do my own thing. I think after 3 days, he had one fish. And the winning bass came from the bags came from the monkey box. So that was I said, I'm not going to go do that. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to
live or die by your own gut. Right.
And so listening to Doc talk, no. Should I hindsight 2020? Yes, I should have listened to the Doc talk.
That's funny,
I don't know, man.
I
don't know, dude. I get it, man, because like that happened to me at Harris Chain. Like, I found some good fish. It was a community hole. I hated it. Like, I'm getting advice on the water, and these bass boats and John boats and everything else coming in here. I can't fish like that. Like, I get spun out. I just can't have. I had a line cast over me. The first thing in the morning. Yeah. I'm like, like that did not start off with me. And then when you're not catching fish and everybody else is, and dude, like I had to get out no matter what the conditions were. I got out. You know what I mean? Like, hell or high water, I'm just going to go find fish. Even if I don't, at least I'm in my comfort zone, so to speak. You know what I mean? I get what you're talking about, man, for sure. So let me ask you this. Okay, so after Saturday, right, we got a big 0 on the board. And you had a pretty good attitude about it, but let's be real. What were you thinking, man?
I was shocked that I had 0 on the board and I was sitting where I was sitting. I mean, I said with all the opportunities I had on a tough day, and I said, Jesus, it's crazy. I'm sitting at 0. So my thinking is I'm going right back to the same spot tomorrow, and I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to capitalize on when these opportunities come.
Pause. Based off what you exactly just said, how many bites did you get on day 1? In your areas,
was it was about 9, probably about 9 total. 7 is what I wound up losing. I probably had 2 more bites after that, so it wasn't a ton of bites. I mean,
and you said you went into it fishing for winning fish, not fishing for a limit, right? That's what you said.
Fishing for a limit of fish that are going to win the tournament. I think the winning bag came from a creek about a mile up from me, and the guy found the Bailey. What's his name? Egbert, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think he was too far from where I was at. And he just happened upon a creek that he hit the right creek with the right conditions, a little cleaner water, and kid did it.
I mean, the tournament's over now.
I don't feel like I was too far off. I don't feel like I was too far off from what I was doing. I just needed to execute. Sunday came, and that was a different story. Sunday came, execution had nothing to do with it. I couldn't find a bite Sunday.
Yeah, and that's why this part of the reason why I was asking you, because I was going to dig a little deeper. So you had 10 bites in this area day 1, and you would probably say at least half of them were the right bites. At least half of them, right?
Definitely, 100%.
Okay. So how big was this area you were fishing?
Pretty good size. Pretty good size.
Okay, so not an area where like if you fished it hard, it would be like blowing it out.
No, it would definitely on normal circumstances it would reload. Definitely should reload. You definitely should be hitting new fish. It's definitely not. It's got deep water bite. You got 16, 25 foot coming through, so you got a steady flow. You had some shad coming through there.
Yeah,
you had bait movement. You had, there was not much current going through there, but you had bait movement. You had the depth in there. Cover was decent cover.
Dude, let me before we continue to hammer him.
We're not hammering.
You follow was tough. This
was
a tough tournament, man. Like straight up,
101
anglers caught 1
0.
fish or skunked. That's the reality of it, right?
That's the reality of it. No excuses. I'm not going to say that. The good anglers, they did what they had to do. The other half of the field, hey, God bless them.
There was big names that did not do well. I'm just going to be fair and honest with that. But again, like has nothing to do with what you did. That's just the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
But here's another thing too, dude. Like I'm sure, like, was this bite consistent through the day, or was this kind of like an early morning, just I got hammered and then it just shut down?
Early morning was when
Yeah.
I had the opportunities. I went the whole rest of the day with nothing, and
Yeah.
then from 1:30 to 2, the last half hour is when I got 3 more bites.
Gotcha. So
I lost 3 more within the last half hour. The rest of it happened right in the morning.
So was your
the
plan
middle
like,
of the day?
so was your
That's
plan
tough.
on Sunday, go
That's
in there
tough.
early and then
Yep.
just wing it somewhere else?
It was going early. Hopefully, get on that bite again, and just do the same kind of repeat the same steps, because I really didn't have nothing else other than running south and getting in the mix with everybody else. And nobody really was catching anything too big down south from what I heard.
Okay, I got
A
you.
lot of the bites were spotted bass, smaller largemouths. The northern creeks seem to have the bigger fish.
Okay.
From what I don't know much about Eufaula, but from what I've seen, what I've studied is the bigger largemouths seem to like the northern part of that fishery, which
So
is
Conrad,
more creeks, your backwater creeks, your a little more cover, mats and stuff, gated grass. That again, I could be way off. You might talk to a Eufaula expert who says, "Listen, south is the way to go," and that's it.
So Conrad, being I consider you a one of the Florida experts in fishing Florida. I do. That's how I consider you. When you first showed, because you're from the Bronx, right? If I recall correctly.
Yep.
When you first showed up to Florida and started bass fishing in Florida, what did you do when you didn't when the area was dead?
When I first showed up to Okeechobee, it was a nightmare. Fishing Okeechobee out of a small kayak or canoe, what I had, it was a nightmare. The first places I went to was the eastern side of Okeechobee. Forget about it. Forget it.
Forget about it.
Until you start fishing south, the west, the northwest of Okeechobee, then it opens up a whole new world to you. Right. But it takes time, and Okeechobee is a beast of a lake. It's a beast.
And the reason why I bring that up is if you were fishing an area when you first showed up and you weren't getting bit, you moved on, right? You cover water.
Yeah, you search, you cover water, and then you're trying to start figure out when you find fish, why did I find these fish here?
So let's talk exactly. So let's talk hindsight. So from Saturday, it was a morning bite where you didn't execute and you didn't get those fish in the boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was the bulk of your bites. And then you said 2 to 3 bites in the afternoon or late afternoon or something.
Yeah,
like that, right?
last half hour of the tournament.
So Sunday, you were expecting, I would think, and you're a very good angler, so I would think we think similar. You would go in, you would think in the morning I would be getting the same fast and furious bite, and I would probably execute better and get my limit.
That was my
so
thinking.
in that morning when you didn't do when the bites weren't there, so you didn't even get a chance to execute, and the bites weren't there. Why didn't you revert back to what you know as at the core of you as an angler and just cover water, move and cover water?
Oh, I covered a ton of water. I covered that entire creek inside. I did things that I normally don't do. I went out to a ledge. I drug a Carolina rig in 24 feet of water.
Oh my God.
I had the line coming up the ledge. I could feel it dragging up the ledge. I said, well, I'm definitely doing this right.
Hey, people who fish outside of Florida, I want y'all to understand the way he said 24 feet of water as if he said it like it was 80 feet of water. 24 feet of water is not that big of a deal.
I was fishing an ocean out there on the
that's that Florida. That's that dude. I grew up in Florida. I understand your pain, bro. So when I came to Virginia, I had to learn how to fish deeper than 10 feet of water.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, okay, so Sunday happens. It's a disaster. It is what it is. You've had a terrible tournament. Look, I mean, it is. It's a zero thing. So, what was your mindset on the drive home, man? I got to hear, because I know you have a conversation with yourself back and forth all the time.
Of course.
You know what I mean? What was going through your head? I mean, there had to be kind of a 50-50 thing. Like, you did it, you went out your comfort zone, you're taking positives away. But at the same time, this has got to fuel your fire more so than anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a quiet ride home. There was no music playing. I mean, it was, I searched my map for cliffs between Georgia and Florida. There was no mountains to drive off of.
How long of a drive?
It was only 7 hours, man. It was 7 hours. It was great. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad drive.
Yeah, 7 hours ain't bad. I agree with you.
No, not bad. I got a 7-hour drive tomorrow, man, to Guntersville.
It wasn't bad, man. I looked for the closest cliff, hills, something to drive. I couldn't find it, so I just drove, and I said, well, it's time to start thinking about what happened. And listen, I'm an honest person. These guys, you just show up and fish. You either luck into them or you get great intel and you put it together, and then you look like a hero, and then the next 20 tournaments you skunk or you do shitty. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yep.
The guys that do well, they got the time on the water. They're able to travel all the time. They're retired. They're on their own business. But those are the guys who do well consistently. Tight-knit cliques who help each other out. I mean, those are the ones who do it consistently. Listen, there's some really good anglers that also do it consistently. That's a select few. That's a handful. You could put in your hand that little group that does good based on being good anglers.
Sure.
Everything you're saying right now is the same shit I say in front of the mirror after I get out of the shower after I return from a shitty tournament. I'm like, man, I'd be as good as them if I had all the time on the water.
Yeah.
Like I would have did well too.
Not saying, listen, it is what it is. But when you try to step up to that game and that level and try to beat, try to win that, it's almost like a 1 in a million chance that you're going to do it consistently.
All right, so Conrad, you're kind of pulling the curtain back on these big tournaments, man. Like there is a select few that have information overload, and you're right. They're on the water constantly.
I was staying away from him. I was staying away from him. He's doing it.
On a team, they don't share money or anything like that, but dude, they all help each other out. You know what I mean? But let me ask you a question. I mean, that's part of the game. Like
part of the game.
But as an individual angler, how does that make you feel?
You got to step up. If I would have executed on Saturday, I could have made noise that people would have been in shock. People would have been in shock if I would have been able to do it. That was my fault.
I don't think anybody was shocked. I think I was expecting. Yeah. I was expecting it.
I didn't execute. No. That's on me. That's 100% on me. Is I didn't execute.
Right
now, is that going to happen again? I highly doubt it. If I'm put in that situation again, I already know what I'm going into. I know what I'm going into. My execution wasn't there. My focus wasn't there. You have to pay attention on these lakes because, again, you're not going to get 20, 30, 40, 50 bites. This isn't Florida. This is it's a heavily fished lake. Bass boats are in it. Every tree is getting hit 100 times by 100 different lures.
Sure.
These fish are smart. They're finicky. They're very, you got to pay attention to what you're doing, man. And if you don't, you're not going to do well. You're not going to do well. And I'm going to keep knocking for you.
Do you mind if I give you my opinion?
No, man. Hey, I value your opinion. I mean, as long as it's good and it makes me look good, I'm.
No. Honestly, I'm gonna give you an honest to God opinion real quick. I think what you learned, and I don't know if you're willing to say yes or no, but I think what you learned from this is that it's a completely different mental strength or mental game to go to that level or that stage of tournament and be able to perform how you can perform. Because the mental part of this fishing thing is way bigger than most people are willing to admit.
Yep.
Jesus, yes, man. 100%. I was definitely out of my comfort zone. I was 100% out of my comfort zone.
So let me ask you this, Conrad, and be honest with me. Do you have a newfound respect for the anglers that do this consistently and do it well?
No, because they all give each other intel. No, I don't. No, they share information and help each other out.
So what you're saying is the game is rigged.
There's a few. There's a few, bro. There's a few who don't share information and still do well.
I'll name drop a few. Listen, your Jody Queens. I mean, those guys. You got some guys that are they're gonna go anywhere. They're gonna do well.
Your Derek Brundles, Matt Connors.
Yeah. Hey, Derek Brundle's done well. Has he done well on the national scale? I don't know if we can give him that yet. Derek Brundle, like he's locally does really well.
I think he won a national championship.
He's been two. He's been 2 to the 10s, like
2
3
times
times
to
in a
10,
row.
yeah.
Like the 10 3 times. 10 has 3
He
times.
made
in a
the
row.
10 his rookie year.
I'm not taking anything. Derek Brundle
he's
is definitely him as one of the top guys for sure.
Yeah.
But the guys that do it, more than that, like the Jody Queens and stuff, I'll give it to those type guys for right now. You know what I mean? I think Derek Brundle's got a little bit more to do, not much more to do, a little bit more, and he'll put his name.
No, that's all good because he's hungry. He's hungry, so that's
he's
good.
hungry.
I like it.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah, Derek's my man. But
listen, Brundle puts the time on the water. That's one thing that I haven't been doing. I mean, people don't understand that. My last 3 fishing was Tenorock, no pre-fishing, just showed up.
Yeah,
you don't need to. You fish there all the time.
No,
that was actually my second trip there.
Yeah,
I don't care. Anybody who doesn't know, you fish there all the. You fish there all the time. You live there.
Tenorock. I think I collected a check. I went to Kenansville, led most of the day, couldn't find a big bite. I think I finished like 7th out of 40, 50 guys. Another place.
You should never posted yourself in first there.
I knew. My bite was gone. I knew. I put it up there because I said, what the hell? I got first for right now. Let me make this look good.
I hear you, man. I did the same
thing. Conrad, you're one of the best publicists for themselves. I love it.
Yeah, of course. My next event was Eufaula. I mean, that's been my fishing over the last 5-6 months. No. I'm not getting time on the water like I need to really compete, which is probably where my execution crapping out on Saturday. Came back
we get it. We get it, man. So what's next for Conrad, man?
I'm gonna start. I'm scheduled to fish game 1 at Tenorock for the KFL.
Okay.
It's gonna be me, Sherman,
June,
John Fox, and Danny Gann.
Okay.
That can't be the next time Conrad's on the water. It can't be.
No. I got to start getting up to Tenorock and start, and putting a little pattern together for myself for that part of, I got 3 good guys behind me on Tenorock, but I told them, I'm not going to Tenorock just to be the 4th man. I'm going to beat them 3 as well.
No, absolutely. So are you planning any more live events? I mean, during or after the KFL season?
Well, we got KAF Okeechobee coming up. I don't know if I won last year. That was where I won last year, KAF Okeechobee. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I might do that, but I'm just trying to focus on KFL, man. I feel like KFL is where all our heads should be, man.
It's the future. It's the future, bro.
It's gonna be legit, man. I mean, I'm telling you straight up, like it's gonna be so much fun.
You got other guys that are depending on you. This ain't you yourself. You got a team that you're gonna fish for them, so you better be ready and put all your effort forward for those guys that are behind you. And if you're not willing to do that, go fish solo events. Don't be on a team. Go do it yourself.
It's a different mindset. We won't get into too much to KFL. KFL is standing on its own, but dude, I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, it's a gap in the fishing season, and man, the KFL is blowing up, man. I mean, no joke. The KFL is absolutely blowing up. I mean, I am so ready for this thing to get going, man.
Before we burn you down, before we burn Conrad the Barbarian Binetti to the ground, real talk, man. What are your biggest takeaways, biggest things you learned from this tournament?
I should have stayed home with Sherman. When Sherman said he wasn't coming, I should have
take that as a sign. He's a very wise man for his age.
I should have gave him 2 thumbs up. I should have liked that little post and then just turned around and went home.
Are you telling the world that Conrad Binetti doesn't like when the fishing is tough? Is that what it is? He likes it when they're biting all the time. I'm just joking.
That's hilarious.
I like getting 50, 60 bites. That's nice, man.
Yeah,
I mean that is. I've rarely experienced that. So
here's a real question: are the copperheads going to allow you to go fish Eufaula?
I believe so. Like I said, hey guys, if you're not confident in what I did there, I said, hey, you want to try somebody else? We do what's good for the team. I said names, it don't mean a thing. We're gonna do what's good for the team.
Wow.
I personally think it would be a stupid decision, but if that's the route the team wants to take, hey, I'll take a back seat to somebody else that wants to step up and do it.
Okay.
And God bless them along the way. Hey, do your thing. Do your thing. But
just don't go to this creek.
Just void this creek.
I want a real freaking answer, Binetti. All right. What the biggest things you learned from this tournament, from this you follow thing?
You got to focus. You have to do what you're comfortable with. Do what you're comfortable with. Don't listen to too much doc talk. Do your thing. Listen to when you know fish are being caught in an area. Maybe you should start, spreading out a little more and moving your way down towards where fish are being caught. Maybe don't be so stubborn. And again, bites, man. Bites don't come like we're used to down here in Florida. You're not gonna get hammered with 15, 20, 30, 40 bites. So you've got to capitalize. Capitalize everything.
You didn't learn that from Starley? You didn't learn that from Starley when they came up here to face us on Diaskin?
They got a little taste up. They were crushing them too, man. They were sending us posts, and we got this place dialed in.
They were crushing it in the Greg Nosar show. And what I mean by that is Greg Nosar crushes them in practice.
Oh, 100%.
That's bass fishing, man. One day they're there, one day they're not.
That's the way it works, man. You can't rely on history, bro. You know what I mean?
It is what it is. And like I said, when I go up to these places, when I went to Eufaula, people are probably thinking I'm driving in my car. Oh, here I come. I'm going to kill this thing. Listen, I'm driving up there. I'm like, wow, this is going to be bad. The odds of...
I have to tell you, man, I am impressed. I am impressed with your honesty, man, and the realist, that you are, man. I thought for sure you're just going to come in here and make a bunch of excuses, but dude, you manned up, man. I have to give you some credit, man.
How much time did you spend doing your hair before this?
Probably like 30 minutes or something. I fluffed it a couple times.
It looks good. It looks good.
I hear you.
It looks good.
I got the part going. And
you got that hard part. I see you, baby.
Is it going to be hard for you to kind of sit back and watch KBBT National Championship now going on, man? Wishing you were part of it a little bit.
Yeah, that definitely HinDsiTe 2020 is. I wish I jumped in that.
Could have.
You'd have been screwed.
Yeah.
Wasn't it this past weekend the start of it?
Yeah, it started this
past
weekend.
I wouldn't have went to Eufaula, man. I would have stayed home.
No, you wouldn't have.
As I said, dude, I'm proud of you. Like I said, no matter what happened, dude, I'm proud of you. You stuck your neck out there and you got out of your comfort zone and got the experience, at least experience Hobie, because Hobie is the best trail out there, man. You got to see how what it means to put together a live event with 200 anglers out there, and you got to see your buddies and and meet them and hang out and all that stuff. It's an experience, man. It's the experience, dude.
I'd do it again tomorrow. Probably go to a different area, but I'd do it again tomorrow.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, dude, thanks for coming on tonight, man, and talking about Eufaula, dude. I know that was tough, and hopefully we weren't too hard on you, but we had to ask you some a little hard questions, man.
Not at all, man. Hey, we got to keep it real, man. Got to keep it real.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is don't disappear again like you did after Derek put that ass whooping on you. All right.
Yeah. We should be punching bags and stuff, man. Let's go.
Yeah, stay relevant, bro. You're a beast. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, I'll probably disappear for like 3 months or something. That's it.
3 months, 90 days. That's acceptable. 90 days. We'll let 90 days go.
Stay tuned for the Conrad Binetti diaper line. It's coming up soon. Yep. The Pampers. All right, bud. We'll see you later, fellas. Conrad.
Appreciate it. Be good.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, that was pretty exciting and fun, man, to watch him. Be a little humble,
I was very surprised by how humble he
listen,
was.
we got a couple minutes, man. We want to preview Guntersville, right? Talk about Guntersville, and then we got to talk about what happened to us this weekend, man.
I'll talk about that. I don't want to talk about Guntersville because I can't make it.
Well, I'm gonna talk about Guntersville, dude. Where's all the people signed up, man? Like, where's all the people? Like, there's 47 people.
What's up with this? It's because it's KBF.
No.
No. What I mean is because it's KBF, and I feel like when people sign up for KBF, they're normal kayak anglers. And what I mean by that is they're not the ones who want to get their name famous for signing up for Hobie, so they don't try to sell it out in the first 32 seconds.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Guntersville is going to have – it's definitely – I feel like it's going to have definitely over 150 people.
I hope so, man. Listen, we still have some room in our house that we're staying in Hollywood. So if anybody needs a room or whatever, we got some room, man. So we got a huge house out in if you're coming to Guntersville and you need a place to stay, man, hook me up. It's $40 a night at a huge house. So
hit up Greg.
Hit me up, man. We'll be happy to have you. I leave tomorrow. We'll be there from Wednesday through Monday. So
make sure you're a person who washes their ass on a regular basis. We don't deal with non-hot.
Yeah, man, and man, dude, make sure you have a fart filter or something, man. We ain't trying to smell no stank.
Wash your ass. All right. I'm not saying wash your ass in hindsight. Wash your ass now. Right? Don't think about washing your ass after the fact.
Yeah, no doubt, dude, no doubt. So, man, Guntersville, man, I hear I hear the water's down quite a bit. A lot of eelgrass, and they're in a like post-spawn funk. So I hear it's going to be pretty tough. I don't know, man. It could take off. I don't know. The weather's stable. Though? That's good. The weather's going to be stable.
Isn't Guntersville? I'm very bad with geography, but isn't Guntersville near the upper part of the state?
It's kind of mid to upper part. Yeah.
How are they post spawn already? Like,
dude.
I mean, water temps probably
75,
low 70s.
No, I'd say 75, 76.
Okay. I mean, all right. I guess okay. Post spawn. Okay, maybe. I mean, but the post spawn funk usually only lasts like 2-3 weeks.
Well, that's the key. And who knows when they were exactly on beds, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think you're going to see a bunch of bed guys out. I don't know, dude. Without me looking and seeing what's going out there, I don't know. But that's what I've been hearing, man. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah,
Russ saw a 6-pounder at dinner at the dock.
I just saw that. I was just looking at that. I think I've only.
Hey, Russ, where'd you go to dinner, bud?
He's not going to tell anyone now. He's not going to tell anyone.
Arlie says between 65 and 75. So. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I think. Low 70s.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I think I've only fished Guntersville once in this time of year, and that was literally like in 2013. I don't know, man. There's a lot of Guntersville experts. There's a lot of Guntersville experts. So.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I'm gonna pull up.
It's not going to do Texas numbers. No, not at all.
No, I think it's going to do like 85, 86 inches.
Get out of here, bro.
No, I'm serious. Like I'm hearing it's fishing that bad.
No, ain't no way in hell Guntersville puts up less than 90 inches for the person.
I don't know, man.
No way in hell.
I don't know. I think 85, 86 is going to be your number, man. Look, there's a lot of good anglers. Dude, you got to remember, there's only 45, 46 people signed up right now. It's not like you're picking out of 100.
When does it start?
Saturday.
Oh, the deadline's Thursday, huh? If you're watching, you didn't know the deadline's Thursday to sign up for KBF. So, signed really? Damn, Thursday. Today's Tuesday. There's only 46 people.
Dude, straight up, man. Last time I looked, it was a low number. I couldn't believe it.
This might be my opportunity to get into 10. Go there and finish in top 5 in both.
That's what I'm saying, man. You better get on. Get on with it, dude.
I'll just go AWOL from the military and make it happen.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
You gonna take care of me?
I'll absolutely back you, man. I'll absolutely back you.
You talking hindsight right now. You're not talking right
now.
No,
I'm talking about straight up. Like, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? I've taken a lot of heat from all my other friends, man, for sure. Do it. But let's talk about what happened to us this weekend, man. We'll get out of here. But dude, this weekend was pretty amazing for you. Man, our tournament, Back Bay, I surprised you down there, man. Brought my boy Jim with me, man. And you had the VKT tournament, Dan.
You did.
And
you didn't surprise me because hindsight, man. Well, hindsight, I can't talk hindsight. Let's talk foresight. Yeah. Foresight, I didn't expect to do well. I didn't, and the only reason was because I didn't fish any. I fished the area I've never fished before.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't expect to do well, but I could tell you that in the first 30 minutes, I got a very big clue to the pattern, and in an hour and a half in, I figured out the pattern. It was rock solid. I just, like Conrad said, I didn't execute. I lost so many fish. And we talked. We were talking.
We were on the phone, man, and I was spinning out. You were spinning out, and people were laughing at us, and we were like way down the leaderboard.
It's funny because, forget I'm being politically correct, so I said forget hindsight. At the time, I think we said, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if you finish first, I finish second, or I finish first, you finish second? I said, hell yeah, man.
I said, let's dot it right now. Like straight up.
Yeah, man.
I'll sign up for it. Yep. Yeah. That's what happened.
But yeah, dude, it was okay. So a lot of people, I'll tell you, it was a grind, but it wasn't a grind as in getting bites of a grind. It was a grind
finding bigger fish.
Finding bigger fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bites, at least in the first 4 or 5 hours of the tournament, were not hard to come by. I don't know. Yeah. It might have been less than that from other people, but I feel like in the first 4 hours of the tournament, they weren't hard to come by. It was just finding better fish.
So are you going to give up the juice of what you did, man?
Yeah, I mean, I gave it up in my write-up. I'll give you real quick. Yeah, I mean, I did a normal thing. I've been trying to get better at top water. So beginning in the morning, I was throwing a buzz bait. The wind was low. If there was wind, it was blowing on the reed line. It was very light, like 1 to 2 miles per hour. So I was throwing a buzz bait. I missed one on a buzz bait. Then I picked up a Lake Fork swim bait. Threw that for a bit. Nothing. Then I picked up the jig because that's my confidence thing. And I didn't get no bites. And then I made an errant pitch. And where I pitched way further back into the reed line than I wanted to. It was like a little pocket, a little divot in the reeds. And I meant to pitch it right there in the middle of it, but the shit went back like 6 inches back. And I was like, damn it. Sat there. Then I went to fucking lift it up to pull it out. And when I went to lift it up, fish pulled back down. And I was like, light bulb. Continued doing that. Didn't get another bite. Went through my stuff for like an hour. Went through a bunch of stuff. Jackhammer, lipless, jerk bait. I threw a bunch of stuff. Didn't get a bite. I felt like I think everybody felt like it should have been a reaction bite, right? It should have been a reaction bite.
Oh, I thought like it was moving baits all day. That's why I threw buzz baits early in the morning. Didn't get jack. You know what I mean? Like I was spinning out. I was throwing chatter baits. I mean, but we were fishing like I was fishing 6 inches of water, dude. Like it was super. I mean,
you were. Yeah. When you told me how shallow you were fishing, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be honest right now. I get really I have no confidence in fishing super shallow water. Yeah. Like if it's less than 2 feet, I feel like there's no fish there and I won't fish it.
It was tough. So yeah, I mean, then you threw your jig in and then
I mean, and then like I threw that shit in, got hammered, missed it, tried it again, didn't get nothing else, did a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was like, hey man, you missed a big fish throwing the jig. You didn't get the hook set, even though it was a good hook set. Change something up with the jig. So I changed the color. And landed on watermelon red with a bandito bug trailer in the California craw color.
Yep.
And let me tell you, people, what I do when I do my jigs with a bandito bug is I cut the first 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch of the bandito bug off. If you do that, the bandito bug won't rip as much.
And it's flush against the head.
And it's flush against the head.
Yep.
And I rip off the appendages. That's when I'm throwing it as a trailer on a jig.
Yep.
I rip off the side appendages. Don't rip out the big ones, the claws. Don't rip those off.
Yeah. Then what's the point? You get a nub.
Exactly. I do. And when I made that color change, I figured out that in that errant cast that they were super shallow. I made that color change and the bites started coming fast and furious. And my execution was terrible because but I had to do this big thing for you anglers. You got to figure it out. If you're getting bit and you're setting the hook like a good hook set and you're still losing the fish, take a step back,
trim up, figure it out.
Look at everything and figure out the issue of why you're not putting them in the boat. And I trimmed the skirt up, and after that, I didn't miss any more fish.
Well, there you go, man. Beast.
And I caught my PB, bro. My kayak
24
PB.
in Virginia, man.
24 inches in Virginia, bro.
That's big time.
I did not expect it at all.
Yeah. That was fun, man. And like you called me, you called a 24, and I'm like,
I said, hey man, I just called my PB. You was like, get the flip out of here. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm serious. He's like, I know your PB is an 11.5 pounder. I was like, I ain't to my weight, to my length. He's like, your PB is a 23.75. You didn't catch a 24 in Virginia. I was like, check the
I
leaderboard, bro.
Yeah, he did, man. You put it on the board. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then you coming down to fish Back Bay, which I think you fished maybe one time before, and not the
in an area that I've never fished. I was fishing in an area I never fished.
You've never fished the area you fish, and you came down, and it's hindsight. If he would have landed the fish that he lost, he would have beat me. But if I would have landed the fish that I lost,
I mean, like I was. Let me tell you something. Like Jim was right there, and he heard me shout. Like I lost a 6-pounder, 30 minutes to go. 20+ incher. Well, it was slam the door on you, and I lost it. It was my fault. Again, I hooked it. Like I skipped it in there on a shell bed. It came up, swirled, and I didn't. And it was like just like this. It was like swirled, but it was a tap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it. Like I thought he brushed it. I went to set the hook. Had a good hook set, and she jumped. I mean, dude, she was Michael Jordan. I mean, I've never seen a bass jump this high in my entire life. Like she was way up in the way up.
She thought she was a smallie. Then she thought she was a small.
Oh my gosh, she had hops. I mean, she was. I mean, way up. And then she threw that thing, and I'm like, all right, I need a moment. I need a moment, man. I'm talking to Blake, and he's like, oh no, I was talking to Jim, and Jim's like, oh man, just give it some time, throw it back in there. I'm like, she ain't gonna bite again, dude. She just got hooked and she jumped like
and her hook and she jumped with the beta.
No, it ain't gonna happen.
Nah,
and,
that's like having a girlfriend cheating on her and be like, she'll come back.
I was furious, man, but it is what it is, man. But I had a good time. Came up.
It was great. It was great, and dude, like, I mean, I think we had 25, 30 anglers in that tournament. And in the top 10, we had 6 KFL members in the top
guys.
10.
Let's give Michael Thornton some love too, man, because he came fast and furious at the end there. I called him and I said, hey man, I was talking about my bite, he was talking about his bite. And I think it was cool, man, because you finished first for the Norfolk Privateers. I was second for the Warhawks, and Thornton was third for the Reapers. And you have first, second, third in the KFL, and then then you have basically 2 teammates. Like you had a Norfolk Privateer, I had a Warhawk, and he had a Reaper, all in top 10, man. So the KFL in Virginia is going to be just fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the rivalry is real. Like
it's real. Yeah,
it's real.
It's real because now, like, all the talking is what it is, and we can talk all we want to, but these boys are starting to show up. Like the Reapers are showing up, you guys are showing up, and we're showing up, man. It's time to put all that aside and let the board do the talking.
And y'all make sure y'all remember this, because in hindsight, after the season's over, the Warhawks and the Reapers are going to be like, man, we shouldn't have talked so much shit to the Privateers.
Man, you're full of crap, dude. You're full of crap.
Hindsight. They're going to be on hindsight, bro.
You can talk all that crap all you want to, man. Here's the deal. Like, you better take care of business, because you're the biggest chokers I've ever seen in my life last year, man. Like, straight up. Like, Norfolk Choketeers is what you guys were.
That's 100%. Hindsight, that's true. We choked.
Norfolk Choketeers.
From 3-0 to 3-3. Got it. We choked.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. So
that's hindsight, people. I'm the darker skinned Blake Knight. You know what I'm saying?
Well, guys, that's going to be it for us, man. It's an hour and 15 minutes. Conrad Binetti, thank you for coming on, man, making the show what it is. And Robert, thanks for coming on tonight, man.
It's Blake Knight. I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, listen, hey, put some cream on that burn you got going on, man.
Mother. I love you people. Hindsight.
We'll see you, man. See you.